The regional traveller is a very important contributor to the overall national and regional tourism picture with their expenditures on food and drink, accommodation, local transportation, entertainment, and other goods and services. An assessment of the factors driving this decline in interregional is likely to reveal, as the consultants have indicated in their report, a number of complex push and pull factors affecting the demand for interregional travel within the OECS. Needless to say, for most Caribbean persons, the key factor which they are likely to identify for the decline is the dramatic increase in the cost of air travel since 2008-2009. In fact, the reduction in interregional travel coincides with the escalation in ticket prices from those years. Sometimes it's more expensive to change a ticket within the Caribbean than buying a full-fare ticket to Miami or New York. However, a number of other factors will also have contributed to the decline in interregional travel. Many of these stem from the development processes itself, so that the goods and services previously not available, for example, in Antigua, but available in Dominica, are now available in Antigua, possibly even in a virtual format over the internet. Each country now has its own international cricket facilities and its own music festival, so that the push and pull factors are constantly evolving and influencing the nature of the demand. Notwithstanding these challenges, our administration is determined to restore growth in the OECS and Caribbean arrivals into Antigua and Barbuda. This process has already begun with a major effort, for example, to restore international cricket through an enhanced relationship between government and the West Indies Cricket Board of Control, aimed at promoting the recent England tour as a major tourism promotional event for our country. This has borne positive fruits, with an encouraging number of regional and diaspora visitors coming for the match. We intend to continue to intensify such events, which have potentially strong regional appeal. We are also working to further develop the flow of ferry visitors from Guadeloupe, coming on one-day shopping excursions. This has emerged as a very lucrative market for our downtown retailers, but itself reflects the challenges facing the regional travel industry, as it is strongly impacted by the comparative strength of the euro vis-à-vis the US dollar, to which, as you know, our EC currency is pegged. We are also working to refresh our annual carnival product to make it more attractive and exciting among the now extremely competitive tourism carnival offerings available within the entire region. Most of these efforts will require air transportation that is able to meet the demands of the consumer for cost and convenience. Today's conference is therefore particularly timely, as it brings together airline, tourism, and aviation representatives from both public and private sectors to review the consultants' findings and to advance practical measures that governments and other stakeholders must take to revitalize our internal OECS travel market. In fact, the emphasis here must be on a comprehensive plan to tackle this issue, a plan that involves partnerships with hotels, governments, airlines, shopping outlets, business people, and other potential beneficiaries and stakeholders of an enhanced inter-OECS tourism market. This combined approach will be vitally necessary if we are able to be attractive to other regional and international destinations with which we compete for visitors. In addition to the challenges such as airline costs and schedules, visitors within our region are also subjected to the hassle of multiple security checks and single journeys, as well as the often repetitive and burdensome visa and other immigration restrictions. It is particularly incumbent on this gathering today to advance bold actions for ending, at the very earliest opportunity, the extreme inconveniences associated with multiple security checks. If only that is achieved, then today's meeting would have scored a major triumph. In terms of visa restrictions, I urge that OECS countries give consideration to a harmonized visa policy which would allow for a visa issued by one OECS country to be valid throughout the entire sub-region. Such an approach already exists in the EU, so that guidance already exists in that regard. It is also time for a harmonized OECS approach to the adoption of US, Canadian, UK or EU visas as qualifying the visitor for visa-free entry into the OECS. I think we can all recognize our own limitations in conducting the type of due diligence which those countries undertake in their immigration review processes, and the difficulties which many visitors or potential visitors from certain potential markets face in trying to obtain visas to travel to OECS territories. It is time for us to modernize these procedures using technological solutions while at the same time integrating our national systems in such a manner as to establish the OECS as a single tourism and travel space. These measures will go a considerable way to establish our region as a friendly place to visitors while maintaining the security and other requirements of our domestic laws and international obligations. But it is very important to note that arrangements for facilitating interregional travel were adopted on a short-term basis during the Cricket World Cup 8 years ago, so that what we are proposing here is by no means new or revolutionary. Before closing, let me say how pleased that I am that we have with us here today representatives from the French Caribbean. It is my view that the solutions for regional tourism, including inter-island air transport, will require the participation of all of the islands and territories that comprise the Eastern Caribbean. In terms of the wider French market, we are also encouraged by recent changes to LIAT's schedule, which I'm told should enhance the possibility for connecting passengers from Paris through Guadeloupe. In general, we see tremendous opportunities for joint benefits from greater economic linkages in tourism and trade between the French territories and the OECS, and we welcome the participation of Martinique and Guadeloupe in these important regional discussions. Finally, let me wish you fruitful and very frank discussions. It is important that you provide OECS governments with a clear set of policies and measures for tackling the serious crisis affecting interregional travel within our region. I look forward to receiving your recommendations and report. I also hope that you will have the opportunity to enjoy some of the beautiful sights and sounds of Antigua and Barbuda if you are not all leaving at the end of this conference today. I know your stay here is very short, but starting with the beautiful and tranquil waters of Jolly Beach and the wonderful hospitality for which our people have become world famous. Thank you for listening.